sleep is one of the most underappreciated parts of health and really overall productivity. I hear a lot of people say, I don't need sleep, I can stay up at night and still get to work and do a great job. And I think a lot of people learn this maybe in school. When we go to school, we have a big test the next day and we pull an all-nighter and we stay up all night without sleep and we do a good job on the test and we feel like, oh, well, I can continue to do that. That information that you crammed in there and regurgitated on the test probably is not going to be there a week later. And also keep in mind, back then we were 17 to 22 years old, so our bodies worked just in a different way. We probably needed less sleep back then. Think about it. We're really evolved as humans to go to bed when the sun goes down and get up when it rises. That's the way everyone's been doing it for a very long time in human existence. Only in 1879, when Thomas Edison created the light bulb, was there this big boom of light and being able to work at night and have a night shift, or come home and do things at night instead of go to sleep. So now people are just staying up later and later because we're able to do it. But the light bulb probably drove a lot of the sleep epidemic that we have in our country right now. Conservative estimates put sleep deprivation costs in the United States, at about $63 billion with a B for companies. They lose that each year in productivity, but I really think that's low. It's a hard statistic to really track, but I bet it's even more. There's tons of research out there about how sleep deprivation affects how your brain works. One that I found was really interesting, they took a look at what's called functional MRIs of the brain. So a functional MRI is not just a snapshot, it's a moving picture. So you can actually take a look at the brain and blood flow and where it goes in the brain. So they took a look at one, they took participants and they made them sleep deprived. So they had them not sleep as long as they normally would. And what they found is those people that were in that study had decreased blood flow to their brain after they were sleep deprived. Now, why is that important? Let me give you some statistics on that. So your brain makes up about 2% of your body weight. Okay, so not a big percentage proportionally. But your brain uses about 20 to 25% of the oxygen that you take in. Okay, so you can see the difference. Your brain needs a lot of oxygen, okay, in order to work. And we live in a time where our bodies don't really earn us money anymore. We're not manual laborers. We're not doing manufacturing very much anymore. Our brains earn us money. We're not doing a mundane task over and over and over where we don't need to think a whole lot. We need to use our brains in order to do all the tasks that we need to do at work. But we can relate it to a physical activity. Let's talk about a professional athlete. So a professional athlete obviously uses their body to earn their money, right? Would a professional athlete ever do a large workout or a lot of exercise activity or practicing the day before their big game? Of course not. They're winding down. They're resting. Okay? They're taking advantage of an opportunity to have their body ready for the next day. When you stay up late at night, you are doing the equivalent of running a marathon with your brain before getting to work the next day. You really need to take time to shut your brain down, let it relax, and let it rest before you have, your big game, which is your work day. And think about if you have a big presentation or a big busy day at work, then you really need sleep that night before. Otherwise, you're just going to be dragging and your brain isn't going to work the way that it should. So what I challenge you to do is track your sleep time over the next week, because we all know if we don't track something, we can't get better at it. So what I want you to do is, after you track it, you understand how much you're doing, and then see how close you're getting to an optimal amount. What I tell my patients to do is shoot for at least 7, but really for 8 if you can get to it, but at least 7. Not many people are getting 7 hours of sleep a night. So you'll know how close you are to doing that after you track it. But optimally, you really want to get to 8. I want you guys to discuss this with your team. Talk to each other about how much they're sleeping, and see who's sleeping the most, see who's not sleeping the most, and see what you can do to help each other out and encourage each other to sleep more. Write your comments below and your thoughts, and join the discussion. What I want you to do is, sleep more, get better sleep, and make a positive impact on you and your team.